what is the world going to look like, and how are we going to negotiate this in a way? And I think this whole hardiness thing will end up being crucial. Do you have to go into, augmented reality to get hard stuff, or something,
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Hell. What? Yeah, you're right. It's like what is like? What does it look like? With all of the, I mean, you just look at the AI and the impact that that's having, both good and bad, right? And then there's this stuff, there's good and bad. Anybody who says that all of this stuff is either good or bad is completely bonkers, right? It depends, and the conversation is much more nuanced. And again, with these things, it's how they're used, because I know in the United States, a lot of people are taking it off label, and they're just microdosing GLP-1s, right?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting thing. That's an interesting thing, and that needs to be studied. And actually, as these myostatin inhibitors come up, that'll probably be a thing as well.
Yeah. Oh, mate, where do you see the bodybuilding community get onto these things? Because already peptides are rife, right? Through which you can't. I mean, I've had experts on the podcast. You can buy peptides legally. They will sell you them in air brackets for research use, but there's nothing to stop people buying peptides and injecting them into themselves. And there are a shitload of people in the fitness community who are injecting peptides into themselves. So growth hormone or upstream of growth hormone and all of these muscle building peptides. People are already taking them and are walking around absolutely jacked. And there's places in the States where the doctors will prescribe a bunch of peptides for people who are already grant, right? I'm talking to people in the States who are seeing their doctor, and the doctor is putting them on, these longevity doctors have them on a bunch of peptides. Their muscle mass has gone through the roof. They feel fucking amazing. But we don't know what the long-term effects of these things are, right? So there is a wild west out there of people experimenting with stuff, and that myostatin inhibitor is essentially a peptide, right? That's what it is. And so the GLP-1s are they a peptide? I'm imagining
no, because it just antagonizes the production of the hormone.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But it's just it's ways of whether it's peptides or GLP-1s or any sorts of drugs. There are ways what they're essentially doing is they're interfering with your natural metabolism in these cases in a way that's beneficial. But what are the side effects, short term and particularly long term? What are those side effects?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's been the problem in psychiatric medicine. Interfere with one little part of brain homeostatic function at your own peril, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, that was reminding me, just to finish up with, I think, like there's all this dystopia, but there's all this cool stuff coming. And there's a great opening line to, the book that every kid our age was made to read at school, called A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens.
Oh, yeah.
When he starts it up going, it's the best of times, it's the worst of times. And, but he's commenting on England that's moving from a frugal, society with lords and manors and serfs and whatnot through to the Industrial Revolution. And there's all this displacement. That's more or less how New Zealand and Australia got formed in many ways. And, all this bad stuff happening. At the same time, there was never more opportunity and a brave, exciting new world as well. And, I think that's probably been the case the entire way through human history, through the Enlightenment, through Industrial Revolution, through the Mechanical Revolution, and then the Space Age, Information Age, and now, it's just sort of sped up. So this whole AI thing is just, these changes used to happen in generations and then decades and then years. And like where we're at the moment, it's just an astonishing thing. Like this stuff is happening. We'll probably know way more tomorrow about the world than we know today. And then in a month's time, there'll be a new version of X, Y, and Z out. Like it's just an amazing, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's sort of fun seeing it.
Oh, absolutely. And AI interacting with medicine, like the shit that they're able to do now, and speed stuff up in terms of we are very, very close, I think, to the world of personalised medicine, where they will look at your genome and you will get a specific drug based on a massive AI database that this is the one that's going to work best for you, right? We are very, very close to that, I think. But I think, to your point, with the best of times and the worst of times, I have a concern around these new class of GLP-1s with the myostatin, and particularly around people just going, well, fuck it, I can just eat what I want. Do you know, I heard a stat yesterday that 75% of all calories consumed globally are produced by 6 companies.
Holy shit. Which makes them virtually all ultra-processed foods as well,
exactly.
or GM,
Yeah, and these guys then jump on the bandwagon around research and stuff, and they'll just be going, "Hey, you can eat what you want, and there'll be no consequences." Right? There is a beautiful match in their eyes with the pharma companies who are producing these drugs and the food companies who are able to sell highly profitable, highly palatable, ultra-processed foods that make them a shitload of money, that make the supermarkets more money. So all the little greengrocers are getting pushed out, and then people are eating increasing amounts of shit, and then pharma come along the other end and solve it. That's my concern, that this gets worse.